Hey everybody, welcome back to another film of the week. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Off to work, and I've been shooting a lot of film of the weeks, this week. So we'll be having a lot of film of the weeks these next coming weeks. I'm gonna stop saying week now because I've said it too many times. But we are back one more time for another film of the week, and this one is very timely because Transformers 1 is coming out pretty soon, and we've discussed Transformers before on this channel, specifically the Michael Bay films, as well as the animated film from 1986. So we've had my opinion on Transformers is pretty well versed on this channel, at least on a film front, that is. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of the source material, been big on it ever since I was a kid, and curious to see what this film is going to be like. I'm not expecting much from it, to be honest, but we'll see. Maybe something interesting will be delivered, who knows. But talking about quality when it comes to Transformers films, because it is very very questionable in terms of the quality. I have had I've made my plea about the first 3 Transformers films from Michael Bay, in that they kind of are all, you can kind of watch them all in a vacuum. They're not, they all play the same beats. They don't have much, structure to them. So, so there's nothing that is important in the chronicalizing or watching them in order sort of fashion. But this film, I think, is just by overall quality probably the best of the Transformer films. Obviously I have a nostalgia, a bias towards the animated classic film, but this is probably the best one. So we're going to discuss Bumblebee, which was directed by Travis Knight, who previously directed films such as Kubo and the Two Strings, and no, he's directed something else, but he's been well versed in animation. He has, I believe he's the founder of Leica Studios, and I believe he's working on something else right now. So, but this is a prequel to the Michael Bay films, and this follows, as the title suggests, Bumblebee, as he is on his home planet of Cybertron, in what has been described as fans is probably like the sequence that they've been wanting to see from Transformers, and that is just purely on Cybertron. And the new film that we're getting is all about that. So but the movie opens with that, and Bumblebee ends up on Earth as he is tasked with a mission to protect Earth from evil forces such as the Decepticons, and 2 Decepticons make it to Earth, specifically that of Triple Changers, and Bumblebee, through unfortunate events, loses his memory and loses his voice, and stumbles upon, or at least just kind of gradually, naturally, just finds his way to a human named Charlie Watson, who's played by Haley Steinfeld, and they start to develop a bond with each other, and ultimately they work together to try to stop the evil Decepticons from taking over the Earth. So it's a standard plot, as it is with with most of these Transformers films. Usually they are actually very convoluted. So to see something as straightforward as Bumblebee is, it's very refreshing. But I think that what's very, I would say special, but actually very unique about Bumblebee is how small in scale it is. Yes, it is that's still that end of the world type of scenario, but it's the detail, the absolute, the dynamic being the center point, in that we have to have a plethora of characters taking up the screen. It's just key to just these 2 characters, or at least 3, as another person ends up in the scene, but ultimately it is just that of 2 or 3 people, and it's a lot more just centralized and focused, and within that, the developments are actually a lot more digesting, whereas in the Michael Bay Transformers movies, they kind of just whip through, and they don't really have a purpose to be really there outside of just noises, noises and weird acting choices. But in this, there's fair acting by Haley Steinfeld, fair interactions with the CGI elements, and the CGI elements are actually very expressive, which is something that a lot of these Transformers films also kind of lacked, is a lot of that emotional edge, that sense of resonance. It is felt in this film, and ultimately what you get out of Bumblebee is something that is small, as the character is small, and in that more fleshed out than the other films were, and you get more of a tenderness, you get more of a charm, and it's just more well versed and narratively more understanding compared to the other Transformers films. And it's not a high bar to clear for Transformers films. I mean, even I, as someone who's defending the Michael Bay films, even I stated, like, they're not great movies. I defend them in that they're not terrible movies. I wouldn't take it that far, but they are definitely convoluted, and they're definitely just, like, they just kind of just throw things at you, and visually they just kind of just do basically whatever, explosions. In this, there is a line of reasoning, understanding, and also just a lot more heart compared to other entries in the series. So by design, by narrative, by focus of characters, and developing those details, it's easily the best of the Transformers films by that metric alone, by just that, by that being there, by the fact of these characters having more understandings, more connections, more bondage, and frankly, this is what the movie inherently is about as well, is about bondage and about friendship, and it matches that statement, and that they get that those feelings to come out, and it's not just about robots bashing each other. It's just not about that, and it is very welcomed. And hopefully something like Transformers 1 captures a lot of that spirit, or at least captures something to that quality, but that's to be seen. But as it stands, for what Bumblebee is, it's easily the best. Easily. I mean, it's not to say that it's great. I mean, there are elements to it that are, a little bit stale in terms of just the atmosphere. And I mean, John Cena is John Cena. He's not great. But as it is, as to what we have, and comparatively speaking to what we've had previously, it definitely is better compared to what we've had before in Michael Bay, and yes, to the animated film, even though I have a soft spot for it. So yeah, not too bad, and we'll see how Transformers 1 stacks up in the next coming days. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Bumblebee. I like it. It's nice. It's okay. It's really not anything too outstanding, or too it's, like I said, it's stale in a lot of ways in terms of its overall mood and environment, but there is a heart there. You can feel it, and you can feel the connections. There is a level of resonance that is built, but it's to say that it's surface level, and not where I am just like bawling, or I am just like this. At some points it does hit, it does get to that place, but it's not, it spurts, it's not where it's carrying over throughout the entire. It's like not like a film like Close, where in a moment it defined my experience, and I just was like, just could not get out of that state, that high emotional state. It's not like that. It's just you know, it just has little spurts, and then you're just kind of settled back into a very standard structure. You know, and obviously takes cues from a lot of Spielberg type movies like E.T. and some people will say Iron Giant. I'm not familiar with Iron Giant, so I can't say, but it gets the job done. Let's put it that way. And it just chugs out something that is perfectly fine. And for Transformers, that's pretty good. So, but those are my thoughts on Bumblebee. You guys, have your thoughts on Bumblebee if you guys have seen it, and of course your thoughts on the Transformers franchise, that being the animated film or the live action films. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. And of course, if you have seen Transformers 1, there's a lot of like early screenings going on for it. If you guys have seen it, spoiler free, because I have not seen it yet as of this recording, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, and until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.